Hello ladies and gentlemen. Just wanted to make this video today. I've been noticing that a lot of people have been going out and buying weapons or firearms recently because of the new pandemic. And just wanted to give you folks some tips and tricks, especially those of you, my friends in the Smith & Wesson Shields community, especially my 9mm friends in the Smith & Wesson Shield community. No, that's a little bit of a joke there. One thing I just want to touch on a couple little things that I've come to realize, not only with shooting in general, but also with concealed carry, and as somebody who's in the process waiting to get my license. I'm about a month out, I hope, knock on wood here. One thing I obviously had to go through is really get some really good training into how to correctly conceal carry, and obviously what kind of gear that I would need to conceal carry, along with the training. The training and the gear, obviously the training's tremendously, more important. Gear is obviously really important too, especially as a safety aspect, but training is I think a top priority. But I've learned a lot of lessons, and unfortunately I had to spend a lot of money to learn those lessons. Learned about what gear was good, what gear wasn't good. So I threw in a lot of this focus on this video will be some holsters, and I just wanted to give, there are so many people who just seem like new shooters out there that I would give you some, a couple other little things that I purchased recently, or not real recently, but some things over the years I've picked up that really help. One thing I just want to say is I'm not a professional, YouTuber, not a professional videographer. I'm doing this with my phone. Like I said, just wanted to make it quick as a quick overview to help maybe you folks save some money, and help you folks learn from some of my experiences. Obviously, there's a tremendous amount of videos out there on YouTube. It's a great two-way community on YouTube. They all do good reviews. The problem is sometimes it's hard to tell who's biased, who's not, who's over the top, who's not, who's real. This is just a real, I'm a real guy here. Put some of these things through the test, at least on the range. Really, I've done a lot of, I don't have my license, so I've been walking around shops with these, but I have used them quite a bit on the range and use them in training, so I just wanted to go over it. First and foremost, I just wanted to go over my system here. Obviously, this is a cleared and safe firearm here, and an empty magazine. So two things, I have the M&P Shield here. I really love it. This is the 2.0. Won't go into too much detail here. For those of you who know, you know about the textured grip, you know about the new enhanced trigger. It's a great piece. Really enjoy it. There are a couple things that you'll notice here. I do have the Streamlight TLR6 system, which I really like. It's the laser and the light. A laser, it's not something that you want to rely on, but a light is critical. You'll never know when you may need a light, what kind of situations you'll be in, so you always have to be prepared. The laser is just something I'd rather have and not need than need and not have. So I just added the laser option on there. I do really like it and recommend that any weapon system that you have, that you do have a light on it. With that being said, it makes holsters a challenge, which I think a lot of you are coming into when you're deciding on holsters. Make sure you consider your light first. If you're going to think you're going to get a light in the future, which I highly recommend, get that light, then get the holster. Don't go out buying holsters that you're going to regret buying, that you're going to have to sell later after you use them once because you went out and you got a light afterward. That's one lesson that I learned. We'll talk more about that. One thing, the other thing I have here is, you notice I have the Hive Technologies mag extender. These are nice little pieces, really easy to install. I really like them. They certainly look pretty, especially when you get them in the different colors. Flashy colors are really neat for range guns, but when you're trying to conceal carry, black, everything black, because you don't want anything that's going to poke out, cause attention, draw attention, be seen through a shirt, whatever the case. Black is the way to go. One thing that I did learn with these Hive Technology mag extenders is they are a very nice shiny plastic, but they are plastic and they are slippery. One thing I did go out and get, as I did get on Amazon, they do have a gun and skateboard and multi-purpose grip tape from a company. I think they call it Gun Grabber or something. it's good stuff. It's very sticky. Cut that out and put that on the edge there, just so my pinky's not slipping around when I'm out in the range there. Okay, so holsters. One thing that I learned, there's a few different types of holsters. I'm not going to go too crazy. I do like the hybrid holsters. I do, especially from Crossbreed. A lot of guys say don't go with the hybrids, that they come apart here on the seams and all that, and they come apart where the Kydex meets the leather. I don't know how often you have to wear them before that happens. I don't know, at what usage that does start to happen, if it's years, months, days, whatever. I haven't experienced it yet. This here is I believe they call it, this is the Super Tuck from Crossbreed. Forgive me if I'm wrong. This is the example of the holster that I first got. I first got this. Obviously, it doesn't have room for my TLR6 light here. So that was about $70, $75 there that I used this for one class, realized I need a light on this, and then now I'm kind of stuck with it, or I got to sell it. That class I used it on, I did really like it. It's very comfortable. This presses up right against your body here. It's a nice shield. It blocks in the trigger guard. Nice click, nice retention. These clips are high quality. Crossbreed, at least for hybrid Kydex and leather holsters, I really like. Later on, I did go out and buy this one here. I forgot the name of it. I apologize. It is another one from Crossbreed here. You see this one is, obviously the Kydex is wider on this as opposed to this. That's because it does fit the TLR6. I did like this one. It's still good quality, great quality from Crossbreed. The only thing is with this one is that, if you notice, it only has one clip on one side. The only problem with that is when you do clip it, this clips on this side, and there's a tremendous amount of space here on this side of the holster. Meaning that when you go to draw, this is kind of, this holster is sort of moving in different ways. It's not super secure. It's obviously not going to fall out, but it's sort of floating around a little bit more than, say, this hybrid holster here, or any of these fully Kydex holsters. So I do like it. It is good quality, but it might not end up being something that I use every day. So after I got these, I did realize that I wanted a super simple Kydex holster, something that I can maybe carry appendix, which with my dad bod probably won't end up happening too much, I found. But I did just want a super simple Kydex holster. A lot of guys say that's the way to go. They really love them. They enjoy them. They're usually hard plastic here, and they're smooth against your body. They don't get in the way. They don't take up a lot of room, as opposed to some of these hybrid holsters. These can be comfortable too, but obviously they take up a lot of space. And obviously this isn't something exactly that you're going to be wearing appendix, that's for sure. So I have 3 different brands here that I got. I'm going to try to be as gentle as possible on some of them. So the first one I went out, I listened to a lot of podcasts, obviously, and I'm sure you can tell what kind of podcasts I listen to. But We the People holster is the first one that I came across, or the first one that I went out and bought. I'm usually not somebody who's susceptible to advertising, but I saw a lot about them. Obviously, you look at a lot of reviews online, and it looks like people have a lot of good things to say. I think the shipping was a little bit quicker. The price was a little bit more reasonable. But unfortunately, I think I've learned a lesson with this holster here. I cannot recommend it. If you look, and those of you in the Smith & Wesson Shield forums have seen me just nonstop probably complain about them there. The problem is with this holster here is it's really, it's very thin. Look at this flex. I mean, a holster should not be doing this. I wish I had a stand here for my phone. Unfortunately, I don't. So it's going to be kind of hard to put it to show you. But when this, I have to show you because it's just so bad. When this weapon goes into this holster, check this out. This weapon here is now, it goes right through the holster. The retention is cranked down. This screw was cranked all the way down. It's the only retention screw on it. For those of you who don't know, you can usually tighten these screws here. Some of them have more screws, some of them have less screws. Tightening this screw here is supposed to make it more or less difficult for the weapon to be pulled in and out of the holster. It makes a decent enough click after fiddling with it a little bit. But look, it doesn't even... It's bad. It's bad. I'm going to give them the chance. I'm going to call them, see what they say. I guess they do. Their customer service is pretty good. I've heard they do have, I think, up to a year. If you try it out and you don't like it, then you can return it. So I might go that route. I mean, unless there's something that they can do for me. But again, when I go to reholster this every time, I put it in. Okay, the click is okay, and then even if that's being generous, and then when I go to holster it, it's so easy just to push it right through, and that really, really, really should not be happening. It's unsafe. It's not good quality. It's very, very disappointing, and whoever I can tell to save them the time and money, I'm going to tell. It's just, I don't think it's right that they invest so much money into their marketing and so little of their money into their quality. If you notice too, not only that, the Kydex is a little bit on the thin side. It's unfortunate. That's we the people. The next holster I got here, simple Kydex. This is a Vetter holster. These are, by the way, I have these in order from I think best to worst. I'm sorry, worst to best. The next one is Vetter. I thought that these guys were pretty good. I've seen some of their stuff online. They seem to have good products. They seem to be a good company. This holster here I did kind of like. I got the optional wing attachment, which really is nice. It really, so these, if you don't know, these wings here push the handle up against the body. So sometimes when you have one of these, the handle can stick out. This wing pushes against the belt, thus kind of turning the holster, keeping the handle tighter to your body. It's actually a great feature, something I'd recommend, and something a lot of obviously the people who have been carrying for a long time recommend. The Kydex is good. It's high quality. If you notice here, the difference between the end of this holster and the end of this We the People holster, that is a huge gaping crevasse. Obviously the shield fits nicely into this. The retention's good. I think I cranked the retention down a little bit, but it's held in there very, very nicely. This clip is metal, which is nice. That's different than even this here that we'll talk about in a bit. The Kydex is good quality. It feels nice. It's not... See, notice how the way this Kydex flexes it, I mean, that's some pretty good strength, and that's right where I think a normal holster should be, or like a holster that's not too, $100, $150 should be. It's nice and tight. We'll compare it again to I mean, it's bad. So that's Vetter. I like that one so far. I just got this one in recently, so I haven't put this through its paces as much as the other two, but so far I like it. So the one I really like that I was sort of surprised with was this holster. I really like this one. I used it a few days at the range. This one does have a little bit of more of an opening compared to compared to the Vetter. But if you notice, the Kydex is really not flexing. I mean, that's all my strength. That's my strength right there. I really like it. Whatever Kydex that they use here, I don't know if it's a higher spec. I think it's a little bit thicker. It feels like a little bit of a different texture. It's not quite as like shiny as the other two. It must be some different makeup. The only thing is the clip is plastic. You may be able to upgrade it. I'm not sure. Of course, you're going to swap on your own clip, which isn't a big deal. It seems like it's going to hold up all right because whatever plastic they use is pretty good. Again, you can change the retention, but I really like this one here, and I think this is going to be my go-to. The Vetter might become my go-to. I just got to get used to a little bit more, put it through its pace a little bit more. But like I said, the plastic is good, but just not quite as strong, I feel like, as the holster. But we'll see. We'll see. And the last thing I'll say, so a couple different other style holster I have. This actually, this is an outside the waistband holster. These are inside the waistband holsters, full Kydex holsters outside the waistband. This is a Blackhawk too, and I believe, I don't know, don't quote me on what level this is. I think this is a level 1 or level 2 security here for this. This is actually for my full frame M&P. And so that's just a different style. Again, it is a Kydex. This fits nice. This works nice for what it is. I mean, there aren't a lot of places. I'm in New England here. There aren't a lot of places where you can carry outside the waistband, except if you're camping or whatnot. But you know, Blackhawk is a go-to. It's been around forever. Not a whole lot to say about this. You know, decent, pretty simple, pretty decent holster. The last one we have here too. This is one that I picked up and purchased by accident. This was, again, before I put the light on. It's a Quest holster. It looks like it would be a nice holster. It's like one of those semi-universal for small pistols. Looks like pretty good quality here. Has a nice metal clip. The suede's nice. I've heard with these, though, the problem with these, they're called pocket holsters. What the professionals say is the pocket holsters, it's not easy to reholster. So obviously, if you had this inside the waistband and you took the weapon out and you went to go put it back in, well, that's going to be your belt pushing the holster. You're not going to get it back in yet. I think even the instructions say you have to take this out, put the weapon back in, and then re-clip it onto your belt. So it's not really a great system. A lot of people don't recommend this. Again, it doesn't fit mine anyway, so I wasn't able to put it through paces, but it seems all right depending on what you want to do, and depending on what kind, how crazy you're going. So actually, I am in the process of selling this one, and this nice crossbreed here are for sale on eBay currently. So two other things I wanted to mention as somebody over the years, two little doodads. I didn't want to do a crazy review, on a whole bunch of stuff, but one of these Magulas. These are great little devices here to load your magazine. So for those of you who are new, you go to the range. Basically, when you're loading up mags, pistol mags, you got your little tongue here. If you could see if my phone would stop zooming in and out. You got your little tongue here. It presses down the follower. You put a round in there. You pull out that tongue there. You go up. You press down that round. Put another round in. Pull out the tongue. Go push down that round, pull another, and so on and so forth. And it really makes loading up mags easy. It really saves your fingers. I highly recommend. They're cheap. They're not that expensive. They're nice quality, nice little device to have when you're definitely putting a lot of rounds down range. The other thing you want too is a great pair of ear protection. Do not cheap out on this. Do not go for the cheapest option. Do not use your dad's saw or chainsaw ear protection. Get a nice pair of range ear protection. So these here are the Walkers. They're really nice Walker Razor Combi tees. They were on sale, Amazon's deal of the day, and I got them for really cheap. I think they're up to $75 now. I think I got them for 40-ish. So I'm sure they'll go on deal of the day again. What's so nice about these is, so what you want to be able to do when you're on the range, when you're out with friends, when you're taking classes, whatever, you want to be able to communicate with people. You cannot do that with regular chainsaw ear protection or your ear protection from work or earbuds or whatever, and you don't want to be tempted to take it out, remove it, which I've seen other guys do on the range. You don't want to be doing that. These actually have a mic on them that enhances the sound around you. So you can talk to your friend, you hear it clear as day, but it will block out any sound above, I think, 85 decibels. So they're excellent for that. So when you're taking a class on the range, you don't want to be lifting up your thing, but you want to hear the instructor. You want to hear what he's saying. You want to hear his commands. You want to hear go. You want to hear ceasefire. So get yourself a pair of ear protection that's going to allow you to hear things around you. The other thing that so this particular pair, I think they call it the BT because it comes with Bluetooth, which is really nice. So when I'm on the range, if I want to listen to a little bit of music, if I want to, accept phone calls, I can do that. They're really helpful with that kind of stuff. Excuse the zoom. I don't get my phone here. Does not like zooming in too close. They're really a great pair. The other thing you want to look out for too, a lesson learned, is you don't want to get anything too chunky. I got a pair of ear protection that came out to here, a few inches out. You don't want to do that. Get some thin ones. when you're putting your, when you're cheeking your stock, you don't want your ear protection to be hitting up against your stock. You don't want the gun, the firearm to be hitting your ear protection. That can make a loud noise. So, I get some of that razor thin. The other cool things about these is these wires are kind of silly in my opinion as far as style wise, but they are fully functional. The reason is because when you're at the range, you can fold these up, and they're nice and compact to go into your bag. So again, these are the walkers. They're a really great little thing there. So if you have any questions, I'm sorry, the other thing I have here is my belt. So for those of you who are thinking, obviously, if you have the shield, you're planning on concealed carry. I do have this Relentless tactical belt here. It's 1.5 inches. It's high quality. They're a little bit expensive, but you really need something that's 1.5 inches to hold these clips, to hold the holster in place when you're holstering and reholstering. So definitely need one of those as well. So if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot me an email, shoot me a private message, and be happy to hopefully help you. Thank you.